So I've got everything all pinned here. I've got my machine all on, and I'm going to start to sew. So I'm just going to line up, and I'm going to start 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. So I do a little back stitch. So I've got a few pins in here. What you're going to need to do as you're sewing, so I'm going to sort of start to sew, because this is still a curved edge, you've got to keep moving this shirt body, okay? So the collar stand is on top, it's laying flat, the shirt is pinned, and if you've got lots of pins in, you should be fairly flat, but you want your needle, if you have the ability to have your needle stay down, then that's good. If not, make sure when you stop, if you flip things over, that you're keeping your needle, you're turning it and putting it down in your fabric. So have a good look behind. Make sure that you don't see any puckers and pleats, and you can look from both sides. So I'm just going to stitch all the way across here. Like I say, I keep kind of moving this collar or this shirt piece as I go. So the collar stand is staying flat, and the shirt, I'm just kind of turning it, make sure that it is not getting caught up into the collar, and I'll have a tuck or a pleat on the underside. So I just keep moving it along, stopping wherever you need to, stop to pull the pins out. So I'm just, and every once in a while I'm tugging. So what I'm doing is I'm making sure that these two raw edges, the edge of my shirt body, the curved neckline, and my collar are staying nice and even with each other. So I'm still working on that 5/8 of an inch seam. And I'm just feeling a little bit under there, making sure that I don't feel a tuck. Make sure that your seam allowances from your shoulder are staying towards the back. That row of stay stitching should have held them towards the back. Okay, I feel something happening there, so just give it a little tug. Now this half scale is a lot smaller than what you're going to do for your garment shirt, but if you are making children's wear or half scale patterns just to try things out, then you will have to do a smaller neckline on certain things. Okay, so now I want to show you the back. You can see there's my stitching. Now I see a couple of rows here. Looks like I've caught most of my stay stitching. It's inside the seam here. So now I'm going to turn it from the back and have a look. I don't see any pleats. A little bit of stay stitching here. I can remove that little bit of stitching, just unpick it. Everything looks nice and neat. So now I am going to do some grading and trim all of this, but all of this gets tucked up inside, okay? So you see everything is going up into that stand. So once I've trimmed it, then my front edge should be nice and smooth down here. So I'll get it all trimmed, and then we will do the hand stitching and slip stitch. What happens is this whole edge will get slip stitched across by hand. Now you can top stitch it. You just have to make sure that you're really accurate, because you're going to want to either top stitch, in order to get it to look nice and neat, you're going to top stitch on the right side, but you want to make sure that all of this is pinned properly, because if it's not pinned or stuck down with some double-sided sewing tape, what'll happen is you'll stitch along here and you might miss. So you may end up missing parts of this, so you'll have open pieces in this collar stand. So for this one, we're gonna slip stitch it, and then if you want to after, you can take and top stitch from this side. Okay, so we'll take this to the ironing board so you can see how we're going to trim it and slip stitch it.